What if the first gods were not myths? What if they were real people? Kings, warriors, rulers of flesh and blood. Ancient texts say they ruled before history began. They lived for thousands of years. They commanded cities, armies, and the sky itself. And when they died, they became gods. Today, we uncover the forbidden story, the story of the first god king, when humans ruled the world as gods. Every civilization tells the same story. Egypt, Mesopotamia, Sumer, China, Mesoamerica. Different cultures, different languages, same idea. Before written history, before recorded time, there were rulers who were not ordinary men. They were kings, but also gods. Not symbols, not metaphors, real rulers with divine authority. Historians call them myths. Ancient people called them ancestors. So who were they really, and why did every civilization remember them? This is Beyond Time. Before history had dates, before calendars had years, there was another age. An age the ancients called the beginning. Not the beginning of the universe, but the beginning of rule. The oldest civilization we know, Sumer, did not start its history with farmers or villages. It started with kings, but not normal kings. On clay tablets written more than 5,000 years ago, Sumerian scribes recorded something extraordinary. They wrote about a time before the flood, a time when the world was ruled by beings who were not fully human. These tablets are real. They are preserved in museums today. They are called the Sumerian King List, and they do not read like mythology. They read like administration, names, cities, lengths of reigns. One king ruled for 28,800 years. Another ruled for 36,000. Several ruled for tens of thousands of years each. According to modern science, this is impossible. According to ancient Sumer, this was normal. And then comes the most important line, repeated again and again. Kingship descended from heaven. Not discovered, not invented, descended. Power did not rise from the people, it came from the sky. The first rulers were not chosen by men, they were appointed by something above humanity. This tells us something critical. To the ancients, civilization did not begin with humans organizing themselves. It began when something else allowed them to rule. These kings lived in a different age, an age before human limits, an age before death had rules. And when the flood came, everything changed. Cities were destroyed, ages were erased, only fragments survived, written in clay, waiting to be read thousands of years later. And those fragments tell us one terrifying idea. Human history did not start with ordinary men. It started with rulers who were closer to gods than to us. The first name matters, because whoever comes first defines everything that follows. On the Sumerian King List, the first ruler of humanity is named Ululam. Not a warrior, not a conqueror, a king placed on the throne when the world was still young. Ululam ruled in a city of Eridu, the first city ever mentioned by name. Not built by farmers, not built by tribes, built by command. The texts say Ululam did not seize power, he received it. Kingship was given to him, lowered from heaven. And then something even more disturbing appears. Ululam did not rule for decades or centuries. He ruled for 28,800 years. To us, that sounds like fantasy. To the Sumerians, it was record-keeping. They measured time differently, life differently, power differently. Ululam was not called a god, but he was not treated like a man either. He stood between worlds. He enforced divine law on earth. He maintained cosmic order. This was not just politics. This was religion made flesh. And when Ululem's reign ended, the texts do not describe a death. They describe a transition. The king did not disappear. He ascended. His rule ended on earth, but his authority did not. This is the blueprint. Rule as a man, leave as a god, and it would be repeated again and again. Sumer was not alone. Thousands of miles away, Egypt preserved the same memory. Before dynasties, before pyramids, there was another age, an age ruled by the Shem-Su-Hor, the followers of Horus, semi-divine rulers, neither fully human nor fully god. Egyptian texts say they ruled for thousands of years, long before the first pharaoh carved his name in stone. And when that age ended, human kings took over, but they copied what came before. Pharaohs did not claim power, they inherited divinity. They were gods on earth, living embodiments of Horus. China tells the same story. The first emperors were not elected, they were chosen by heaven. Their right to rule came from the sky, the mandate of heaven. Lose it, and you fall. In Mesoamerica, kings did not simply die. They became stars, constellations, celestial beings. Across cultures, across continents, the same pattern appears. First, rulers walk among humans, then they rule above them. This was not coincidence. This was memory. Ancient people believed the first kings were closer to the gods because they were closer in time, closer to creation, closer to whatever came before. The farther humanity moved from that age, the weaker kings became. Divinity faded, mortality took over. But the idea never disappeared. Power still wants to look divine. Authority still wants heaven's approval, because deep in human memory, rule without the gods never feels legitimate. Then something broke. Floods, collapse, wars. Civilizations fell. Knowledge was lost. The world became unstable. And when chaos returns, people stop believing rulers are divine. God-kings belong to stable worlds, to ages of certainty. After the great collapses, kings were no longer gods. They were servants, messengers, chosen but limited. The gods moved away from earth and into the sky. Religion changed, power changed, but the memory remained. Buried in myths, hidden in symbols, whispered through traditions, and every empire that followed tried to recreate it. Divine right, sacred bloodlines, holy crowns, all echoes of a forgotten age. The first god-king may never be fully understood. He stands at the edge of history, where fact becomes myth, and myth becomes memory. Maybe he was real. Maybe he was many rulers merged into one, but his idea changed humanity forever. Because once humans believed someone could rule as a god, they never stopped searching for it again. In emperors, in kings, in leaders who promise order in chaos. The age of god-kings may be gone, but the desire for divine authority remains. And that raises one final question. Did humans stop ruling as gods, or did they simply learn to hide it?